Welcome back to Remade in California, where we talk about everything from the economy to education. This episode is all about running a small business. Joining us now, Michelle Seiler-Tucker, author of Sell Your Business for More Than It's Worth. Michelle, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Pat. It's a pleasure.
Book. This is a great book. So in terms of small businesses, define a small business for me.
Well, you know, Pat, there's approximately 28 million businesses in the United States.
Wow.
And about 97.9% of them are small businesses. So everybody's definition is a little bit different as it relates to small businesses. For me, it's really anything under a $5 million purchase price, maybe with anywhere, under 20, 25 employees. Okay. But most businesses are small businesses.
Okay. And when you talk about kind of how, since there are so many of those, is it the goal of a lot of small businesses to sell themselves, or do you find that?
Well, unfortunately, Pat, it should be. And unfortunately, it's not.
Okay.
Because most business owners go into running their business and they never really think about planning their exit strategy or selling their business.
So many of them are mom and pop, what we often call a mom and pop.
But mom and pop businesses, any type of business owner should always plan their exit strategy. Okay. And they should always have the end game in mind. And they should always have their desired sales price planned out. So when they go into business, they should say, I want to sell my business for $1 million. This is what it's going to take to create $1 million business. Because not only will you create a more profitable business, but then when you are ready to sell, you will actually have something that is sellable.
So it's almost like I've had a couple of businesses, and my metaphor is you think of it more like you would have a house.
Yes.
You live in it for a while, but eventually, if it appreciates, there's equity there.
Yes.
So is that what you promote for a small business?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's the hallmark of any legacy is being able to build your business so that it actually is sellable, to a lot of different buyers willing to pay you top dollar for the business. And again, that's the biggest mistake the business owners make is they don't build their business with the end game in mind.
Now, a lot of the theme of the show obviously is remade.
Yes.
So in terms of personally being remade or remade into a new career, do you find a lot of people start new businesses as a way to kind of shift direction? Is that your experience with some of the ones that you?
A lot of people will start new businesses, but what I always encourage people to do is not to necessarily start a new business, but instead to buy a business, because out of those 28 million businesses, 25% will be up for sale at any given time. And there are a lot of good businesses in California that are up for sale, and they're making great cash flow. They have employees in place. They have a great product, and it's a good business. It's better to buy an existing business than it is to start a new business.
Wow.
Especially since 85% of all new businesses will close up in the first 3 years.
Wow, is that true?
Yes, very true.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of heartache out there. I mean, so how would somebody go about finding a new business to buy if they want to remake themselves?
The best thing to do is call a business intermediary, a business broker. We're actually M&A advisors, mergers and acquisitions advisors.
Right.
And to call someone like myself is the best thing to do, because good businesses, Pat, will always be listed with an M&A advisor or a business broker. And they're always listed with business brokers or M&A advisors because of confidentiality.
Okay. So you would, is that something you can do online, or you just call them up and?
Well, you can
again,
call,
it's a little bit like a house. It's a real estate agent. They want you to call them.
A lot of time buyers will go to different websites that are listed to find a business, kind of like an MLS for houses. There are MLS for businesses.
Okay.
But we strongly encourage anyone can feel free to call us or any M&A advisor in the state of California. We actually do business in California, and we work with quite a bit of business owners here.
In terms of California, is it up now, down? What's the economic outlook for new businesses?
Well, I think the economic outlook is pretty good for California. We have several business owners that we're working with on a regular basis, and we either work with our clients to sell their business now or to actually build their business so it is sellable, because 8 out of 10 businesses will not sell, Pat. So we actually will work with business owners and partner with business owners to get their business to where it is actually sellable for the price tag they need.
So that's where you're saying develop it so that it's worth more, and you have certain things that you can go in and
Sure. I call it, when we go in and look at a business, if it's sellable for the price tag that the owner needs to enter the next phase, then we'll go ahead and work with that business owner to sell their business now. If it's not, then we'll work with that business owner to build their business to sell. And we evaluate what I call the 6 Ps. Every business needs people. And unfortunately, most business owners, have a job rather than a business. And they need to create a business that works for them instead of them working for it, because buyers don't want to purchase a job in most cases.
Oh, interesting. That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing we do is we look at people. And then number 2, Pat, is we want to look at that business and say, does it have a good product? Is the product relevant? And is it thriving or is it dying? So we look at that product to make sure that it's current. Then we want to look at proprietary. Does that business have anything proprietary, like contracts, any trademarks, patents, intellectual property, databases?
So exclusive things that are an asset for the business.
The more proprietary that you have, Pat, the more that we can drive that multiple up and get you more money for your business.
That's great. What's a hot selling business right now? What's
a hot selling business is a business with high cash flow.
Okay, but no particular category, or are you noticing?
We have over 15,000 buyers in our database, and buyers used to be industry specific, but they're not as industry specific as they once were. Now they're calling us and wanting cash flow.
So it's more like buying a stock almost.
Absolutely. I mean, every now, we do get buyers that say, I want to buy, manufacturing company or distribution. And we work with 3,000 PEGs, which are private equity groups. And they demand a certain cash flow. They want EBITDA, which is earnings before taxes, depreciation, amortization, and interest.
I know that phrase.
EBITDA. So they want that EBITDA to be around, anywhere from $2 million to $3 million. So it just really depends. There's 5 types of buyers out there. And it just really depends on what the type of buyer is. Yeah. But most buyers want they're more cash flow specific than industry specific.
I love that you mentioned EBITDA, because when I taught, this is all about community colleges.
Sure.
So I'm a big supporter of community colleges. When I taught a class at Golden West College, it was called The Business of Art. So we got into trademarks and patents and whatnot. But I basically said I spent 16 weeks teaching artists and designers the difference between gross and net.
Right. Well, what's amazing to me, Pat, is so many people that I work with to sell their business, even in the beginning, I always ask them, how much are you grossing and how much is your net or how much is your EBITDA?
Right.
And they always look at me like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
And even the large type businesses, we just sold an $18 million business in Texas, and the owner had no idea what their income was, what their EBITDA was. So we had to work through that. But it's surprising. A lot of people, and that's another big mistake, is a lot of people don't know their numbers, and it's really important to know your numbers.
So is the employment picture affecting sales of businesses at all, just in terms of?
It is, but from a good way.
Right.
Because now we have more buyers than we've ever had before.
Okay.
We don't have a shortage of buyers. We have a shortage of good businesses with high cash flow. And, I always tell my business owners, Pat, that the hardest job for me is to tell a parent that their child is not as pretty as they think it is.
Right.
And all business owners think that their business is the best business out there, and a lot of them have unrealistic expectations of what their business is worth. So we have to, bring them down to reality.
Right.
And tell them what their business is truly worth, and or work with them to get those numbers up so we can sell their business for a higher price tag.
Yeah. So when you talk about selling for more than you're worth, I mean, tell me what's the magic bullet?
What's the magic sauce?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, first and foremost, the magic sauce is, number one, going in and recasting the financials and cleaning up the financials to see what that business true income really is, because you can't always tell by the tax return. So we really do have to go through the financials. The other magic sauce is knowing what buyers want. So like I said, we have over 15,000 buyers, and then building that business to meet those buyers' criteria. Because if you can build a business to meet the buyers' specifications, then we will sell that business for maximum value and create a bidding war. I mean, the business that we just sold in Texas, the appraised price was in the $8 million range. We ended up getting in the $15 million range. And the reason for that is because we had 350 buyers looking at that particular business, and we were able to create a bidding war.
Wow.
So there's a lot of secret sauce.
That's a secret sauce.
Yes,
so the book is Selling Your Business for More Than It's Worth. Thank you, Michelle, for joining us. I appreciate it. For more information on Michelle and to buy her book, visit SeilerTucker.com. And for more information on how community colleges can help you be remade in California, go to cacareercafe.com. Up next, Peter Bernard running multiple businesses.